Is the top destination for foreign direct investments in Africa and the continent's second largest economy. But can it achieve the stature of Brazil, Russia, India or China, the so-called BRIC countries? CNBC Africa's Didi Akanyalure caught up with Jim O'Neill, the former chairman of Goldman Sachs Asset Management, who's widely known for coining the now popular BRIC acronym.
It's difficult for Nigeria to become as big as a BRIC because it's, at least in my lifetime, because it's kind of starting from a low base. You know, today, let's assume the much anticipated data revisions make Nigeria the same size as South Africa. Say, what's that, 375 billion. China creates another South Africa every 3 months. So to get to that size, you know, Russia, which has got huge problems, 7 times bigger than South Africa. So, and Nigeria is smaller than South Africa. So to get into that league, Nigeria would have to grow by 20% for 20 years, which you get everything right, then maybe you do. But so to be of that kind of size, I think, you know, is not so easy. And I don't think in this moment of excitement, people shouldn't get too carried away, because having been in financial markets for 30 years, I love the phrase, under-promise and over-deliver. So Nigeria should be happy if it's kind of a mint. So, but it can certainly get to be one of the 10 biggest economies in the world in 2050. And it needs to do the obvious things: education, infrastructure, power, reduce corruption.
In your opinion, what makes Nigeria more attractive than other countries in Africa?
It's got a lot of people. Pretty simple. 20% of the whole continent's population. That's what made me focus on it in the first place. I'm sure this isn't, I mean, I'm kind of no expert on, actually not on Nigeria, so certainly not the continent, but what is also the case that I'm really appreciating on this trip, that the amount of sort of entrepreneurial spirit is something I don't detect that much in the emerging world in general. It's sort of almost like the US or the UK. It's, you know, that's quite unique.
So what can be done to make Nigeria the right environment for investors?
Grow. Grow. You look at, it's interesting when you talk to a lot of people in the rest of the world, they say, oh, there's corruption, there's no infrastructure, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at what's happened the past few years, Nigeria has been one of the best places to invest. So why has that been? It's because Nigeria has grown. So it's growth. The biggest challenge for the biggest BRIC today, China, is actually having more of that. China needs some of the entrepreneurial spirit you guys have got. And that's what China says it wants to do the next decade. But for China to do that without a democracy where individuals are allowed to do as they want, not sure. The only ones in the BRICS that really have anything like your entrepreneurial spirit are probably Brazil and India. And so I say that because that's not enough to deliver everything, because China's the most successful. So you've got to somehow combine the entrepreneurial spirit with some good focused policy making. What China's got, I think, is really good deliverability by its government on infrastructure and projects. So if you guys could take what they have on that and keep this entrepreneurial spirit,